Hi, welcome to my channel, Not Your Average Weight Loss. I'm Karen, 56 and a half. I'm actually going to be 57, what's today? Saturday. Monday. Yeah, it's very strange to think I'm going to be 57. And that my son is 18 years old too. Anyway, I digress. So 10 things my GLP-1 journey taught me that I never expected, and I've taken some notes here. If you had told me a year ago, I've been on this now for almost a year, actually a year and almost 4 months, that I would lose over 63 pounds, I probably would have focused on one thing, of course. What is that? The number on the scale, right? We've been trying to lose this weight for so long. Of course that's going to be a focus. But after losing the 63 pounds from 193 to 130 pounds, which I maintain right now, I've realized that the biggest changes were not just physical. This journey taught me lessons about food, health, nutrition, confidence, patience, and even some things about myself that I didn't know. Today, I want to share the 10 biggest lessons my GLP-1 journey has taught me, and I hope they encourage you wherever you are on your own journey as well. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for joining. If you've been here before, welcome back. As I mentioned, I should just say 57, right? I'm 57-year-old mom, and I've been documenting my GLP journey from the very beginning. I've lost about 63 pounds total so far from my highest weight, which is around 193, probably even more. I just really didn't weigh myself back then. And now I'm in maintenance, reverse dieting. I've been reverse dieting since December of 2025 and focusing on building muscle while reducing body fat, belly fat. Everything I share here is based on my personal experience and should never replace a doctor or medical advice. I'm not a doctor. My hope is simply to share and guide what's worked for me and to hopefully help somebody out there that's going to either want to start their journey or in the middle of their journey. So let's get into it. Lesson 1, there is no magic shot. Yes, this medication was a game changer. It helped me tremendously, but it didn't do the work for me, right? I still had to make better food choices. I'm the person that chooses what goes on my plate and what goes in my mouth. I still exercise. I still had to exercise. I still had to build new habits. The medication is a tool, and I use it as thus. I had to learn how to use it in that fashion and not just, I don't want to say relying on it, but understanding that it is a tool and your brain, yourself has to make these changes, right? And for me, I was consistent, not all the time, but that's one thing I learned about myself too, is how consistent I can be, which is a good thing, right? Especially if you're on a weight loss journey. Lesson number 2, protein, protein, protein. It is more important than I ever realized. If I could go back and tell myself one thing before my first injection, it would be this: prioritize protein from day 1. And I did. I mean, I really did, but I wasn't as consistent as I'd like to be. So protein helps me in several different ways, right? It keeps me full. It supports my workouts. And it really became the foundation of preserving muscle while losing the belly fat. And that was my whole goal for this reverse diet. If you want to learn more about the reverse diet, I would recommend going back and looking at those videos that I did. I think there's 2 of them. Very, very helpful if you want to get going on a reverse diet as well. I really highly recommend it. once you reach your maintenance. Lesson number 3, strength matters more than the scale. At the beginning, I celebrated every pound I lost, right? This sounds familiar. Now I celebrate lower body fat loss, more muscle, and better strength. I actually am able to do, and I don't think I talked about this before in my channel, but I wasn't able to do one single push-up. And now I can do, let's see, the highest I've done I think is about 85 push-ups. I'm not talking about all at once. I'm talking about like in a set, like 20 and then rest, 20 and then rest, 20, you know. Can you imagine? I mean, that was one of my goals and I've reached it and it feels great. So today I care much more about how healthy and strong my body is than simply how much it weighs. I think for me anyway, that is my biggest goal. I want to be healthy. I want to have longevity. I want to be able to someday, you know, play and hold my grandchildren, right? Lesson number 4, patience wins, especially on a reverse diet. It's so slow. There were weeks when the scale didn't move. And, you know, it went up a little bit, it went down a little, then it would go down the next week. It's not like this all the time, right? You get that roller coaster effect. Looking back, many of those weeks were when my body composition was improving the most, especially on when I started the reverse diet. I noticed that. Progress isn't always visible right away. It does really take time, and that's the other thing. With the reverse diet, if you're interested, again, this is where I'm at right now, is in the middle of my, actually it's the last leg of my reverse diet, because I'm in a, what's called a cut. I've cut back on my calories a little bit to get rid of some of the excess fat, the body fat. Anyway, lesson number 5, consistency beats perfection. I talked about this earlier. I didn't eat perfectly, but I was consistent. I still enjoyed birthdays, holidays, and family meals, eating out, things of that nature. But I was right back on my consistency, right back on my protein, and, you know, the next day, right? The difference is that I didn't let one meal become one bad week. I always came back to my healthy routine. Lesson number 6, maintenance is a new beginning. I'm sure you heard this before. I used to think maintenance was the finish line. Yay, we got to maintenance, right? No. It's a new beginning. Now I know it's simply another chapter. Today I'm learning how to fuel my body, maintain my results, right? I don't want to lose muscle, and continue improving my health through reverse dieting and strength training. As I mentioned, if you've seen my other videos, I strength train at least 3 to 5 times a week. Lesson number 7, muscle is an investment. Oh boy, especially when we're over 50, right? Muscle is longevity. It's our metabolism. If you have, the more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism is, right? You can eat more. Who doesn't want to do that? One of the smartest decisions I made was focusing on preserving muscle. I'm so glad I did that. And I started my journey with that intent. Strength training, protein, creatine. I also added essential amino acids, and I find that they've been very useful. I can see my cut more than I used to before. Cut meaning the definition in the muscles. More attention to my body composition has become just as important as the number on the scale, probably even more important, right? Especially as we get older, muscle does matter, like I mentioned. Lesson number 8, Health is more than weight. Uh, I used to define myself by how small I was, how much I weighed. I needed to get to, you know, back in the day when I first started my journey, right? 150 was my goal, my maintenance weight. And now after doing the recomposition and strength training and all this other stuff, it's changed, right? But it's not just that number anymore. If I was more muscular and 150 pounds, I wouldn't mind. Really, I wouldn't, because of the fact that my goals have been achieved, right? I've gained more muscle. Muscle weighs just as much as fat, right? So I've definitely seen improvements that the scale can't measure. Like I said, better body composition, lower visceral fat, more energy, way more energy, greater confidence. I mean, back in the day, I have to tell you, I would never be wearing a no-sleeve shirt. I just wouldn't do it, right? And now I have 3 or 4 of them. So it's been great. Those changes remind me that health isn't defined by one number. Lesson number 9. Progress does look different for everybody. It's easy to compare yourself to people online on YouTube. And I did it too. I get that. I've learned that comparison steals the joy from your own progress. You don't know that person's background, experience, etc., right? And their bodies are different. Everybody's different. That's why these medications are so different and they have different effects on every body. For me, 3.0 milligrams is what I stayed on, and that's what worked for me. That's what worked for my body. I've learned that, not only does it, comparing you to somebody else, it not only steals the joy from your own progress, but, your journey is unique. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small they are, even non-scale victories. They're still victories, right? And lesson number 10, this journey changed more than my body. It really did. Losing 63 pounds changed how I think. I have no food noise. I have more room to think about my life goals, right? What am I going to do with my life? I'm 57, really on Monday, but let's say it's 57. Maybe do something different with my life. I've been in the same job for 13 years. I'm getting bored. Anyway, I digress again. So it changed how I care for myself, how I think, what I value. I value time, right? It's not all about the money. I value progress, not just the scale. The biggest transformation wasn't just physical. It was believing that I could make lasting changes and stick with them. Consistency, right? That's something I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. So if you're just starting your GLP-1 journey, what are you waiting for? Remember this. Be patient. Build healthy habits. Focus on protein. Move your body. You don't have to strength train. I do. That's part of my goal. That's what I want to do. That's for me. You can do anything. Walk. I walk. I walk every day on my walking pad. It's great. Celebrate progress beyond the scale. And most importantly, don't give up on yourself. Have grace, right? Have grace. Be kind to yourself. So thank you for being part of my journey. If this video encouraged you, I'd love for you to like and subscribe, please. It does help. Join me as I continue sharing my experiences with maintenance, reverse dieting, healthy aging, and living well after major weight loss. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what phase you're in, and maybe the biggest lesson that you've learned on your journey, on your GLP-1 weight loss journey, and what has taught you. And thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys. I will see you next week. Enjoy the rest of your evening with your family. Bye-bye.